Have you ever heard of the word PIP or pipettes but don't really know what it means? Or maybe you know what it means but do not really know its significance and how it can help to give you an edge over the market and make you a consistently profitable trader? Then this is the right video for you. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for joining in again. You already know what is coming. Please smash the like button to help the algorithm and help share as well. Leave a comment to let me know what you'd love to see in my subsequent videos. If you're new to the channel, my name is Collins over here. I give you relevant content which will help to scale up your trading to that next level, which will help you to be a consistently profitable trader. If that sounds good to you, please smash the subscribe button and turn on your bell notification to get notified anytime I upload new content. Let's head right into today's lesson. So today we are going to be understanding what a PIP is. We are going to be understanding the usefulness of a PIP, how a PIP is represented on your forex platform, how to accurately read and interpret pips, and how to calculate the number of pips. And all of this is going to help you, give you an edge over the market. We are also going to be looking briefly into pipettes and what they mean as well. Let's head right into it. So what is a PIP? PIP is an acronym for percentage in points or price interest point. It is the smallest significant price move on the market. Okay, so the word PIP is an acronym for percentage in points or price interest point, and what it essentially means is that it is the smallest significant price move. Okay, it is the smallest considerable price move on a currency quote. So when we have a currency quote like this move to this, the difference between them, the smallest significant difference between these two prices is a PIP. We will shortly further explain it and you will get a hang out of it. If you are getting confused already, there is nothing to be confused about. Just watch the video to the very end and I promise you everything will be crystal clear. So what does it do? Well, it is the smallest amount by which a currency quote can change. We have already said that. So what is the significance? Understanding what pips are and how to use them in your trade helps for better stops and targets. So it helps you to better determine where you want your take profit and your stop loss to be, so as to help give you the very best out of the market when you are issuing out a particular trade. That is what it does. Understanding the number of pips running per candlestick or per a number of candlesticks also help you to better get a view of the market volatility and better understand how the market movement is going, and all of this is going to help influence your trade decisions in the right way so that you get to make better choices as a trader. And of course, with all of this, you are definitely going to become consistently profitable over time. So this is definitely a masterpiece you don't want to miss out on. Watch the video to the very end and you don't want to skip so you don't miss out on any valuable information I will send across. So how is it represented? Now there are two basic representations of the PIP. The first one is with JPY pairs and the other one is with non-JPY pairs. And if you are wondering what JPY is, then I strongly recommend you go watch my earlier video on currency pairs to better understand what these terms are. JPY is just Japanese yen. So JPY pairs are currency quotes having the Japanese pair in them. So we could have the GBP JPY. That is an example of a JPY pair. Non-JPY pairs are currency quotes without the JPY in them. So we could have the Euro USD. That is a non-JPY pair. Again, I strongly recommend you go watch my earlier video on currency pairs. I'll leave the link down in the description so you can better understand that before you come back to this video to now get a clearer understanding of what this means. We really You really would need the knowledge I've shared in the first video if you don't really know what currency pairs are, to help you better understand this video. So when we pick non-JPY pairs, for example the Euro USD, the PIP or a currency code is quoted having 4 decimal places. So we could have a pair like the Euro USD at a price of 1.0427, and that is the basic representation with non-JPY pairs. And then we have the JPY pairs like the GBP JPY, which could look like this, having a price code of 135.92. So JPY pairs have 2 decimal places, and this is how price is quoted on JPY pairs and non-JPY pairs. How to accurately read and interpret pips. So for non-JPY pairs, the least most significant pip value is on the 4th decimal position. Moving on to representation on JPY pairs, we have the pip value beginning on the 2nd decimal position. So an example like the GBP JPY could have a quote price of 136.52. So the least pip count is on the number 2, which means that the number 2 is in the category of ones, the 5 is in tens, then we have the next number in the hundreds, and the next one in the thousands. Don't worry, this is not confusing at all. You will get a hang out of it definitely before the end of this video. So how to calculate the number of pips? So you will hear things like 50 pips running, 200 pips running, 300 pips running. So how do we calculate the number of pips? Let's look at an example with a non-JPY pair like the Euro USD, right? And let's say it is quoted at a price of 1.4037. So let's say, and let's not forget, we earlier explained that the PIP is the smallest, most significant price change, right? Or it is the difference in price change, the smallest, most considerable difference, right, across 2 price codes. So let's say this price changes from this to this. So how do we read this, or how do we calculate the number of pips across these 2 different price positions, right? So essentially we want to get the difference between these 2 price codes, and so we do a little math here where we subtract 1.1150 from 1.1151, and that essentially leaves us with a single pip, 1 pip. So let's look at another example with the Euro USD. So let's say price code changes from 1.40372 to 1.40275, right? So what is the difference between these 2 price codes? You can give the video a pause and do it quickly, and let's see. Okay, hopefully you said 10 pips. Now you might want to argue,
but Collins, when we subtract blah 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 from blah blah blah, we are ending up with a negative number.
Right. Remember I earlier said that the least most significant pip value on non-JPY pairs begins on the 4th decimal, right? So you might be asking me, Collins, so what then is the significance of the 2 and the 5 as seen in both cases? And that brings us to what is called the pipette. The pipette is essentially 1/10 of the pip value, and this is not really significant when it comes to the forex market, right? But just so you know, that is the pipette. So it is absolutely fine for you to just rule it out completely and have your number of pips running figured out. So the pips is essentially just the difference in price change, right? That is the watered down beginner version of how you should look at it. So if I give you X price quote and Y price quote and ask you to figure out the number of pips running across these two price codes, you should be able to just work it out. It's simple math, right? So that is it. Now you need this knowledge so much in your trading because you have to know the number of pips, because the number of pips running essentially would go a long way to tell you how much you are risking on a particular trade and how much you should be expecting to make off from the market, right? That is, your pip helps you to better determine your stop loss and your target, which is of course your take profit. And all of these decisions help you to better have an edge over the market and prevent you from completely blowing up your account and losing everything. So you are not so emotional about a particular trade because you have your stop loss figured out, right? You have your take profits figured out, right? Because you know exactly how many pips you are expecting from the market and how many pips you are willing to let go out to the market should the trade fail to go your way, right? So you would see that this concept of pip is very, very key when it comes to trading, and no trader can do away without it, right? So in the subsequent lessons, I'm going to be going a stretch further to helping you look at how then we can use this information to know the amount we are risking per trade and also the amount we should be expecting from the market on a particular trade. And we will attempt to brief ourselves on risk management as well. You definitely don't want to miss out on that video, right? And I have lots and lots of content coming up, and you definitely want to stay glued. Thank you for staying through today's lesson. If you found value, please give it a thumbs up if you learned something new, and also don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done that yet. And don't forget to check out the videos I'll recommend in the description. Very key to helping you better understand this. I'll catch you in the next lesson, and as always, trade green and peace out.